Let me tune in, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for letting me tune in. This is the Coronado Ortega Harris Show. Owner of the Global Market majority stakeholder of all of that wedding cake that nobody wanted. I went ahead and I did what I had to do to get that, and I purchased everything that I need to keep it preserved and get fluffy condition. The most delectable, tasty icing known to man. I say a lot of people, they didn't have that cheap old Betty Crocker stuff. Man, you put some Betty Crocker, some cheap old Duncan Hines on your stuff. Some people was just that broke that they went to a goddamn dollar store and bought their wife some cheap ass dollar icing to put on a wedding cake. And ladies and gentlemen, shouldn't they be ashamed? They should be ashamed of themselves. Because I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times I had to do this. I have to make it and whip it from nothing. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to buy store brand icing. You're supposed to whip it out of nowhere and whip it and whip it and whip it. You know what I'm saying? Because at first there's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? It's just like going to yoga class. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be a real long and hard, difficult time trying to tell y'all these stories. Here at the Coronado Show with Dessert and Desire. But I'm gonna tell y'all later. And I'm gonna tell you, you think it's a game. There's no game to it, lady. I'm talking about right out of the thin air. I mean, I can just start whipping and thinking about it. I'm trying to whip up some icing. I want icing to be on that cake in probably the next 45 minutes to an hour. And ladies and gentlemen, you might not believe me, but if you just let me teach you and show you some examples, man, I can get in there and start whipping it. And ladies and gentlemen, about 45 minutes, man, that icing will be just out of nowhere, as thick and rich as it want to be. You see what I'm saying? And then a lot of times I tell my bride to be, you want me to, you want to do something else, and she'll tell me no, keep on doing it. You know what I'm saying? Keep on whipping it. You know what I'm saying? Whip it like that. You see what I'm saying? And see, that's a part of your wedding that you missed. You missed that part. That's just the icing part. Just think about it. Think about how much time that you're gonna have to spend to make enough icing for everybody for that wedding cake that's gonna be at the reception. That there alone gonna take probably about 4 days to make enough icing out of nowhere for everybody to have some. But I'm gonna tell you what a lot of these cheap jokers done did. Then just get out here and defile your wedding. That's what you done did. You done defiled your wedding and you done left your wife stranded. She haven't never felt nothing good. She had no good emotions, no good feelings, nothing that lasts forever that she can remember how much that Coronado put into it and whipped that thing and whipped it. You know what I'm saying? It tastes, ladies and gentlemen, Betty Crocker, Duncan Hines don't have nothing on the real thing, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, absolutely nothing. See, Duncan Hines and Betty Crocker, they got chemicals in it. Have you ever had real organic icing that made from natural, only natural stuff that comes from the earth? You see what I'm saying? Betty Crocker and Duncan Hines don't come from no earth. Like, they came from Procter & Gamble, at the chemistry lab. You see what I'm saying? So I need you to go back and promise your wife that you apologize and you're going to spend some time with your wife. And you got to go back and do those vows again and do it the right way. You know what I mean? You have to do it the right way. Because that's why she keep going to the club. And she keep buying that Remy 100% Brazilian kinky Remy human Brazilian twist. Because she's still out there searching and finding. You think your wife buying all that stuff for you? Heck nah, she ain't buying it for you. She trying to find somebody out there that know how to do it. That's all she been doing every day. Just riding around and floating, you know what I'm saying? And riding the wave, trying to find if anybody out there is interested that knows how to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's very sad, but it's very true. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully, like, you know, hopefully one day she'll find somebody, you know what I'm saying, that knows how to do it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you what a lot of people do. You know what I'm saying? They go out to get it. You know what I'm saying? They pull up at your drive-thru, got an attitude, real bad attitude, and they think that everything can be bought for $5. That shouldn't be no more than $5. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, lady. Yeah. $5? Lord have mercy. You know, you cannot get everything you need from a drive-thru window for $5 or less, lady. There's nothing. It's gonna be a whole lot of effort and stuff put into it. You know, you have to sacrifice a lot of time and energy. You have to educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn. You know, educate yourself. How can you find out how to be with your wife and stay with your wife? You know what I mean? Cause I'm gonna tell you the trend that's going on in Montgomery. People act like they live in Hollywood. They only married to their wife for maybe like a couple of days, and then they announcing that they separate. You know what I mean? Because now you're talking to somebody else. You know? Man, you're not in Hollywood. You can't leave your wife that fast. You know what I'm saying? You live in Alabama at Montgomery. You're supposed to be with your wife for the duration you're supposed to be with your wife. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you, a lot of the keys that you're missing to get in and out of those doors is that you're not spending any quality time. You're not spending any quality time. You know, you don't want to learn anything. You know what I'm saying? You have to want to. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you have to want to. You know what I'm saying? Self-esteem, wanting to. You have to build your metabolism. You know what I'm saying? Once your metabolism gets going, you don't have to do it that much to get to where you're going. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because after a while, your wife's going to say, he knows how to do it now. He knows how to ride that Segway. Because at first when you got on that Segway, you fall off of it. I don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to do the Segway. But you know what I'm saying? You have to stay on that Segway and learn to get your balance. You know what I'm saying? And then in a few years, you'll be riding that thing like a pro. You know what I mean? A few years, you'll be riding that Segway like the pro that you should have been a long time ago. And I'm telling you, a lot of times you see people out there like Brett Favre and Tom Brady. Why won't they go home and sit down? Because they're finding out how to do it. You see what I'm saying? Tom Brady, 50 years old, he said he want to play ball till he's 70. Because he's finding out every day more and more how it goes. He don't want to. Why would he retire and he's just finding out how to do it? Brett Favre did the same thing. Brett Favre played ball till he was 60-some years old. And say, I'm going to be out here playing for Green Bay for a while. Because he finally found out how it goes. You know, I'm going to tell you a lot of times, people don't tell you. Most of the time they're going to say you're crazy. I'm going to tell you, I'll tell all my children, if you know how to do it better than other people, they're going to say that you're crazy. As soon as they find out that you can do something that they can't do, they're going to get together and say, this joker is a nut job, and he don't need to be in our environment no more. Because if he do, we won't be able to have any fun. You know what I'm saying? He'll be having the fun, and we won't be doing anything. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to tell you, to all you people that's in the pros that make way more than the league minimum, you know why you're making the salary cap. You know why you're making the salary cap. You know why you're making more money than all the other athletes. Because they don't know how to do it. And you know that. And you know this, man. They don't know how to do it. You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you the most stressful thing about knowing how to do it is that not only do you know how to do it, you got to multitask while you're doing it. You got to pick up the phone. You got to sit behind a typewriter. You got to scramble the eggs. You got to change the pamper. You know what I'm saying? You got to talk to mom and them, and you still got to be doing it at the same time. You see what I'm saying? That's how I get the big payout. You know what I'm saying? Because you better believe it. They're going to say you underperformed this time. What you mean under the form? And you know, that's when those commentators and those personalities, they have to come in and help and say, look at here, man. This guy's juggling 20 balls. He's goddamn adopted 30 cats. I'm saying, he's goddamn barbecuing. He's taking care of other people's children. You know what I'm saying? And see, those people on the radio, they have to fight and say, look, you being a little bit you goddamn discriminating on him, because that other guy that you say is the MVP, he ain't doing nothing. You know, he ain't doing no juggling. He ain't taking care of people's kids that is not him. You know what I'm saying? And he lost the national championship. But you're gonna sit up there and say that he's the most valuable player in the league. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And say that's why we need those underpaid minimum wage guys on the radio to help us keep our big bucks and fight for us. You know what I mean? That's all they are, some minimum wage boosters. You know, and a lot of people say you should have been a chick, you should have been a girl. But I'm gonna tell you, instead of turning you into a girl, I'm gonna let you be on ESPN and root for my big payout next time. Next time I'm a free agent, instead of me turning you to a woman, I'm gonna let you fight for my money. You know what I'm saying? So you can make sure they put my money in my bank account, even more money than the last time when I was a free agent. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of them say that's fair, you know what I'm saying? Because when they was in the league, they was making the minimum. And everybody said they was too sweet. You was too sweet to be up there with the starring members. And there are a lot of guys in the NBA and the NFL, they would rather say that you crazy than admit it. That, yeah, man, you did make the league minimum, and you did have a lot of soft material under those pads. You know what I mean? A whole lot of soft body parts that have been used and abused underneath that Under Armour. You know what I mean? But I tell you, the catching come before the slanging, man. Before the penetration, they got to catch you. So get out there and run for your life, boy. When you hit the ground, run and don't look back. Run until you get to the goal, and run your ass off till you get in between those goal posts, and don't you dare look back, because somebody gonna tackle you. And I tell you, you sure don't want them to penetrate before you make it to that goal. You want to do the penetrating, you see what I'm saying? Because they'll never stop talking about this. Never. I'm talking about when they pancake your butt, man. Get you on that ground and pancake you, baby, like you a stack of flapjacks. Like, look, man, I already been tackled. I've already been tackled. Get your ass off me. Okay. But a lot of times they're not gonna just let one guy goddamn pancake you. The whole team gonna pancake that ass. You see what I'm saying? And let's please bow our heads. Ladies and gentlemen, please bow your heads. So there's a lot of football players that have been pancaked. I'm talking about to the point of no return. You know? And a lot of time they get off of when they get up, they pad be. You know they have pads everywhere, right? And a lot of times when they get off of that ground, their pads are upside down, and you know their pads slide somewhere it's supposed to be. Because of the magnificence and the strength that those guys used after they had already been tackled. Man, get off of me. I already been tackled, man. Get your ass off me. But I'll tell you, a lot of times they just won't, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to introduce a big bill, a real big bill into the league. I'm going to introduce it. And I'm going to say no unnecessary pancaking. If you see a man has already been tackled, and it's obvious that the ball is dead, why are you still on top of that man, the whole team that slid on top of him? Like that's the thing to do? Because it's not, I'm very ashamed of you. I'm very ashamed of you football player. And your tutti frutti culture. You know what I'm saying? I'm really tired of it.